Hi, welcome, and thanks for joining me. Today I'm going to take you through a really gentle restorative flow that's going to be nice for opening up through the lower back, the hips, and stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system. So if you are feeling a bit nervous or agitated, it will help you feel calmer and improve overall your general health. One of the other things we're going to talk about briefly today is our breath. And you'll often hear yogis talk about breath and how that's important to the practice. The reason why breath is so important to the practice is that it's a part of our autonomic nervous system or function. And it's one of those functions of our body, much like the heart rate, where it just happens even when we're not thinking about it. The beauty of the breath, though, is that we do have some control over it. And when we take mindful breath, we're able to, and if it's slow and calm mindful breath, we're able to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, which brings us back into a relative state of balance and equilibrium. All right, so to begin today, I'll take you through the props that we're going to need. So we're going to use our wall today for taking our legs off the wall. So make sure that you're near a wall that doesn't have any obstructions, like pictures. I'm not going to bump into that one, don't worry. We're also going to use a bolster, and if you don't have a bolster, you can use a second blanket, so we will use 2 blankets, or just the one if you have a bolster, but if you don't, just take a blanket, and we're going to roll it up nice and thick and hard, and we'll use that in place of the bolster. Just put that off to the side. You can also use a yoga block instead of a bolster underneath your hips for this one. It's a bit harder, but you'll still get the same effect. We're going to use a chair with an open back. Now, I've got these ones just from Office Works. They're quite affordable. They do have backs that you can still slip your feet underneath them, and they're quite effective. And then a second blanket just to rest our body on. All right. So just get yourself sorted. Make sure you have the props handy, and we'll start momentarily. All right, here we go. So I'm going to start with a breath rhythm. I like to refer to it as the flower rhythm. We make a bouquet with our hands. So you take the little fingers here to touch and the thumb. It's almost like you're taking a breath, a nice deep breath in from the belly center, all the way up to the top of the chest as you reach your hands high. Stretch to the fingertips and raise your gaze. As you exhale, take your arms wide. The palms still face the ceiling. Release the gaze forward and stretch out to your fingertips. Inhale, just turn the palms down and squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, roll the back of the wrists towards each other, round through the spine, and tuck your chin towards your sternum. Inhale, the hands scoop down in towards the navel center, come back into that bouquet, and reach the hands high, stretch the fingertips. Exhale, palms away, gaze forward. Inhale, simply turn the palms down, squeeze the shoulder blades. Exhale, backs of the palms come to touch, chin tucks, navel to the spine. Inhale, scoop the hands down and in. Come back into that bouquet. Stretch the hands high. Take a deep breath in. Raise the gaze if that's okay for your neck. Exhale, palms away, gaze forward. Inhale, rotate the palms down. Exhale, backs of the hands together, chin to the sternum, navel back. Inhale, scoop and reach up, lengthen through your spine. Raise the gaze. Exhale, take the hands wide. Take your gaze forward. Draw the shoulder blades towards each other. And as you inhale, turn the palms down. Reach out to your fingers and want your hands about shoulder height. Exhale, backs of the hands come together. Tuck your chin. Inhale, bring the hands back and just take them into a prayer this time. And just sit for a moment quietly. Notice how you feel just by bringing the breath and the movement in harmony with each other. And then really gently open your eyes, and we'll get into the next posture. So we're just going to take a hip opener with the chair. So with one of your blankets, I want you to fold it so that you can make a seat for yourself. Just sit it facing in front of the chair. And you can take your hips here, just to sit onto the blanket. And you want your sit bones here resting on the edge. And when you do that, you'll notice that your hips will gently roll forward. I want you to take your legs comfortably wide here. We'll just take a moment to settle in. Feel the hips make connection to the floor. The backs of the legs start to lengthen. You may want to experience or explore with taking the legs a little bit wider here. And if you need, you may want to roll up your blanket a little bit higher, so again, that you're not rounding through the spine, but you feel like you're bouncing and lifting up out of the hips here. Now we just move into a forward fold. And what we're going to do is just bow over the chair. So the chair is there to support us. Take the hands, the forearms to the chair. And notice that I'm leading my forward fold with my heart center or my sternum. Try not to round through the back too much here. And just depending on how flexible you are, you may want to take the chair a little bit further away from you. Once you've found your comfortable position, and you may find it more comfortable if you have a slight bend in your knees. You may find it more comfortable with a higher cushion underneath your sit bones. And then you also want to adjust the chair to the right forward fold length for you. But once you find that comfortable place, I invite you to close your eyes and bring your awareness back to your breath. Now, it's quite normal for us, and I used to say, especially as women, but I think there's a lot of pressure on men as well these days, you know, to be a certain size or shape, which can be quite damaging, and we end up just sucking the navel back all the time, trying to look a little bit thinner in vain. So I invite you here as you forward fold to really relax the muscles through the front of your abdominal center. And start to come into some deeper yogic breaths. Now, yogic breath just means that you're filling up through the full quadrant of the lung in a controlled way, and with the length of the inhalation and the exhalation about the same length and quality. So let's take a breath in together. We'll exhale completely first. Draw your navel back to your spine wherever you are. And as you inhale, allow your belly to puff out. Bring your breath to your side ribs, feel them expand. And then take your breath all the way up to the back of the shoulder blades and the front of the heart center. A slight pause. Exhale completely, starting at the chest, feeling the lungs contract. And gently draw the navel back to your spine here. Continue in this way, but in your own time and place, and space, I should say. So as long as your breath is smooth and controlled from the beginning of the inhalation to the end of the exhalation, that's all we're really looking for. And you may notice that the sensations of the posture here start to ease after being in it for a bit of time. Now you can choose just to stay as you are, or if you would like to explore and go a little bit deeper, you can maybe shuffle your chair a little bit further away from your body and see how that works. Now you can also take your bolster here to support you and the distance you have between a chair. Notice that there's a correlation to the forward folds and the amount of stretch you'll feel for the back of your legs. And it's really nice here when we're able to rest the forehead down to stimulate the parasympathetic nervous system, the vagus nerve, which there is a connection there and on the forehead. So you'll often notice that babies will rub their eyes when they're sleepy. In fact, what they're doing is that they're stimulating the vagus nerve, stimulating the parasympathetic nervous system, calming themselves, self-regulating, and making themselves a little bit more sleepy. We're going to stay here just for another minute or so. See if you can cultivate that soft breath. See if you can find softness anywhere within the body where you may be feeling tension. And you can do that by directing your breath there. And last breath here, of course, if you want, you can always pause the video and stay a little bit longer. And if you're moving on with me, just gently draw your navel center back. Release your hands here to the floor to support you. And slowly start to walk the hands back, supporting the torso as you come into a seat. Again, just moving really slowly here. It's really nice to come out of these long held postures, slow and controlled. To release the legs, we take the hands behind the knees and we rock back, engage through the biceps and bring the knees in towards each other. Just give yourself a nice little hug here over the knees. So we'll take a breath in, draw the belly towards the thighs and raise the gaze. And as you exhale, tuck your chin and round through the spine. Inhale, lift and gaze up. Exhale and round through the spine. Just take one more of these smooth breath rhythms, following your own pace. And then gently release the legs. We come into a comfortable forward seat here with the legs bent, or an easy seat with the legs crossed, or just one shin in front of the other. And come into a twist. So take the right hand to the left knee or thigh. Press down with your left fingertips behind the left hip. Lengthen up through your spine and then half twist. So go only halfway is what you normally could do. And from here, we're just going to drop the chin down towards the sternum and then drop the left ear towards the left shoulder. And you start to feel a bit of a stretch here through the right side of your neck. Take a breath in as you gaze up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, keeping your head in that same rotation, just pivot the head so the gaze comes towards the floor. Notice how that feels for your neck here. We'll take 2 more breaths. Inhale, release or look up towards the ceiling. Exhale, just pivoting, chin towards the left shoulder. Last one, inhale, raise the gaze with the chin. Exhale, take that chin back down. And then lengthen up through the cervical spine. So lift your gaze and stack your head back above the torso. And from here, slightly twist or come into a deeper twist. Take your gaze over your left shoulder now. Try to keep your chin parallel to the floor. And take 2 breaths. So you can twist on the exhale a little bit more deeply. And then let's gently unravel the spine and take the gaze back to forward. And we'll take the second side. So the left hand to the top of the right knee or thigh, the right hand to support you. Twist halfway. Tuck the chin to the sternum. And then draw your right ear towards your right shoulder. As you inhale, keep that rotation of the head and pivot the chin up towards the ceiling as you inhale. And as you exhale, gently glide the chin back down towards the floor. Inhale and lift the chin. And you just want to take this as soft and slowly as you need. Exhale and really listen to your body. If you like to hold the neck release here a little bit longer in any particular position, you can. You may just want to continue with the movement. Last one here. Tuck the chin. Raise the gaze, stack the head back above the torso. And then again, we'll come into a deeper twist. So this time, take your gaze over your right shoulder. Chin parallel to the floor. The left arm draws a little bit more strongly over to the left side of the body as you do this. And then gently unravel and come back to center. All right, we move on. Our last sequence here will be at the wall. Now, there's a bit of a trick getting onto this, and I'll walk you through it. So you want to have the bolster pretty flush to the wall. There's a little bit of space here between the bolster and the wall. Basically, what I do is I try to sit on it first, and there's really no elegant way to get your legs up the wall. But come onto a seat with it. Take one of your hands to the floor, whichever side you're on here, to support your body. And then you've got pivot. Pivot, pivot, pivot. Take the legs up the wall and lower back down. Now this one's a hoot usually in my open classes. Usually there's several people there trying to get up the wall desperately. So if you're having any difficulties, please feel free to pause the video and get yourself into position. Now with the bolster underneath the hips, it's a bit of a hip opener as well as an inversion. And you'll start to notice the legs feeling a little bit lighter here as the blood flow comes down into the vital organs of the body and the chest. You want to have a slight tuck to your chin here so that you've got your chin parallel here to your sternum. And I'll just invite you to do a gentle scan through the body. Notice if there's anywhere where you're holding tension. We start with the toes. Wiggle the toes, release tension. Make sure that there's some softness in the backs of the knees and the legs. Release the hips over the bolster, finding softness not only in the back body, but also in the abdominal center. Finding softness through the torso, front and back. Release any tension from the shoulders, maybe shuffling through the arms slightly, releasing the shoulders away from the ears. Maybe wiggle your fingers as your arms settle into the floor of the mat. Bring your focus to your neck. Get a slight tuck to the chin. And softness in the front to the back of the throat. So maybe take a gentle swallow. Release any tension here in the mouth and the jaw. Release any tension in the eyebrows or the top of the head. And just let your whole body let go here. See if you can bring some ease and softness back into your breath. You don't have to follow any particular rhythm when you're doing yoga, or the breath, that is. As long as there is a sense of ease and peace here with the breath, and a sense of evenness throughout the breath cycle, and you know that you're stimulating your parasympathetic nervous system, encouraging rest, releasing tension. So this is a really nice posture to do just before bed. This one is very helpful for insomnia. It has a whole host of health benefits. I like it particularly for the length that it gives for the lower spine. Bit of pressure here from the legs, or weight of the legs coming into the spine. And if you had somebody around to help you, maybe you could put another bolster or something heavier on your feet, particularly if you have lower back pain, to help ease pain there. Something that you may want to explore with, you're welcome just to stay with your legs at the wall, but something to explore with is just to bend the knees. And then take the soles of the feet to touch and take your knees wide. And take the hands to the tops of the thighs here and just press the thighs forward. That will change the rotation of the hips, the sacrum. It creates a little bit more space for you as well. So again, as you're at home and in your own space, you can stop this video anytime you wish. You can take any posture, longer or shorter if you like. And some other helpful things that you might like to do is to have an essential oil maybe in a burner near you, or to have some light music on, some relaxing music. The idea here is to create as much peace and relaxation both in the environment as well as within. So when you start to notice thoughts popping up into your mind, I don't want you to resist. Often when we resist things, they become more attractive for us to do. Rather, instead of resisting, acknowledging, holding the thought, loving the thought as much as you can, and then just returning to your breath. You do have your knees still wide. You just glide your feet back up the wall here for the last couple of minutes in our yoga practice. Now to release from this one, it is really much easier than getting into it. You start to bend the knees and hug the knees into the chest. You might want to pause here with the knees coming into the chest, maybe taking the knees and the thighs a little bit wider than the torso. May feel more comfortable for you. Pausing here for a moment, noticing how that feels. And then you choose a side to roll, either to your right or your left. And roll out. Come into a cuddle position. Just rest your head onto whatever is your bottom forearm. With your eyes still gently closed, see if you can rest here peacefully in this state of Shavasana with stillness. And then let's slowly press down with whatever is your top hand. And we come back to a comfortable seat. Find the comfortable seat. Take your hands to your heart. Eyes gently closed. Om Tat Sat. Namaste. Thank you. Thanks for joining me, watching the video. Please, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, share. I would really appreciate it, especially if you like the content. And if there's anything that you have a special request of, or a particular something happening within you that you would like advice on, go ahead and either private message me or send me a comment, and I'll most definitely get back to you. With love, peace, gratitude, and great kindness. Have a great day.